Today it's time for a viewer-submitted game of StarCraft 2. What I've got for you is a Gold League match of Protoss versus Protoss. Spawning here on the right-hand side of Automaton and playing with the red Protoss probes. He's in Gold League and he goes by the name of Sister Meow. Well, I just defaulted to saying he goes by the name, but I guess she goes by the name of Sister Meow. And her opponent on the left-hand side of the map, playing with the blue Protoss probes. Not running with the forged skins, not automatically getting the red colors. I mean, I don't even know if he lives up to his name. But regardless, we have none other than Alarak in all caps. Alarak, not Alarak, but Alarak. It's just a small little difference. Now, of course, this is going to be a viewer-submitted game. If you have an awesome game of StarCraft that you recently played yourself as well, feel free to submit it to replays at LowkoTV. Just simply attach the .sc2 replay file to the email, or maybe you can upload it to drop.sc and then attach the URL to the email. That works as well. And maybe I will end up casting your game here in the future. Now, guys, you know what? This is a unique moment right here for a Gold League PvP. All right, guess what's happening? Stay with me, okay? Here's the thing. Both players, right, are in Gold League. They're both Protoss players, right? Now here's the surprising part. Neither of them opened up with a forge. What? No way. I've casted a lot of viewer-submitted games. And, Alarak, are you proxying your own base? This is his base. Not entirely sure what the point of that is. Maybe he's trying to hide something. We'll see what he comes up with here in a second. But neither player actually decides to open up with a really quick, forge. I've seen a lot of cannon rushes, especially in viewer-submitted games. Maybe it's actually not as common in Protoss vs. Protoss in Gold League as I imagine. But I kind of feel like it's happening on like 90% of the games. Anyways, I really am curious why Alarak decided to put a pylon right here. It would make sense if he went for, like, I don't know, a proxy over here or something, right? Maybe go for like a Stargate or even a Robo or even like Dark Templar. That would not be a terrible idea, but okay, he just made a pylon. I guess that's what we're seeing. He just made a pylon. He did decide to go for double gateways, not actually producing anything out of either of the gateways right now. Chrono boosting out warp gates. We're still waiting. Come on, Alarak. Make your High Lord proud. Okay, there you go. He made his High Lord proud there. And eventually, even though he hasn't won the Right of Rakshir just yet, he does put down a Twilight Council. In the meantime, off the base of Sister Meow, we did see that single gateway opener and now followed up with an expansion and then also a robotics facility. Now, the reason why we see a lot of players opening up at the highest level of StarCraft with double gateways is because just simply going for 2 Adepts early on into 2 Stalkers, or even going for a Stalker into a Sentry, or even 4 Stalkers, although that's not super common anymore nowadays, I believe. But regardless, it's one of the easiest ways in the PvP matchup to deal pressure to your opponent. It's very, very viable to go for double gateways and even use like the Sentry energy for scouting purposes, so you can figure out exactly what's going on. So, generally speaking, right, you can hide a Dark Shrine, but I think in most of the higher level games, this would easily be found because it's not even really hidden that well, right? Regardless, the Dark Shrine is coming up. There's also a gateway coming up right here. I think what's going on in this game so far is that Alarak saw a pro gamer do this, and then he decided to copy it as well. The thing is, generally speaking, if you want to go for Dark Templar proxies, you put them closer to your opponent so you can actually get to the other side of the map faster. The whole idea about building these things outside of your main base is A, it's harder to scout, but B, you can use the gateway for quick warp-ins on the other side of the map. Right now, we have another pylon coming up right here for Alarak, who is already sitting up to 4 gateways here right now. Sister Meow, though, she's been building up that robotics facility army. There's going to be a warp prism first, really nice. A couple of gateways coming up right now as well. I think in general, robotics play is one of the easier ways of approaching PvP. PvP can be a really complicated matchup. I mean, I've mentioned a lot, especially in Procast, that I really do like the Phoenix-based openers. I think Stargate-based openers are really good. The issue is that they're also very difficult, right? They're not a very easy unit to micro. Robotics, especially Immortal, Zealot, Stalker, with like Archon support, are pretty straightforward. Now here we go, the Dark Templar, they do get spotted right there by the Warp Prism. Let's see how Alarak decides to engage this Already an observer is out, and System Yao absolutely shuts this down without taking any damage whatsoever. And she just flew the Warp Prism right over this location as well with a little bit of micro. There you go. You can keep all of these Stalkers alive and actually get rid of all of this just fine. Well, the observer is right over here, though. This is... Okay, well, I was going to say the Dark Templar could just run in right now. Just go, dude! Hey! These are the worst ninjas I've ever seen. I would just run into the base if I were you, to be completely honest with you. I would just go into the mineral line. Just split up these Dark Templar. Observers are one of the slowest units in the game. They are pretty good at just simply, you know, detecting stuff if they are in location. Second observer, though, is now available, and even though Alarak does end up killing a couple of those Stalkers and a pylon and then also a shield battery, this is not really any of the damage that I would really be looking for if I was him right now. Generally speaking, ooh, we have a little bit of Warp Prism micro right now as well. Generally speaking, you want to go for the guaranteed damage, and usually that damage is dealt in the mineral lines. Now, I like this. Look at System Yao executing some pretty stellar... Well, okay. Okay, I was good. No, target D. Don't lose. If you lose the prism, I'm gonna be so disappointed. That thing is like no hit points, okay? It's got 10 hit points right now. Well, now it's regenerating. Get it! Get it, System Yao! There you go. Some good micro there initially by System Yao. Then the follow-up was a little bit, you know, unfortunate. Let's just leave it at unfortunate. But the most important thing right here is that she managed to deflect that Dark Templar aggression. Alarak, still stuck on only a single base, is just continuously warping in more and more Dark Templar. He's going with the good old Protoss mantra of, if it fails the first time, I'm gonna just do it 17 times once over again, and then we'll see we'll see how it's gonna play out the 15th time I engage with the exact same army while my opponent is already ahead economically. Generally speaking, right, you can go for another all-in, and that might work. The thing is, System Yao has all of the tools in play right now to deal with all of this. Now, oh my god, Zealots with charge, man. Zealots with charge do make short work of all of this. Luckily, the Immortal right there gets saved, but I think what both players really are looking to do right now at this point in the game is just simply spending their money. Alarak sitting over 1,000 minerals right now, only playing a single base, having like 6 gateways here. That should never really happen. With perfect control, you should be able to support maybe 5 gateways at most, but oftentimes only 4. So this is quite painful already. And System Yao, she does have that beautiful robotic facility capable of creating these well, near immortal units, at least combined with a Warp Prism. There we go, finally. Wait, no. There's a robotics build over here as well for Alarak. I thought it was another gateway over there, but no, it's gonna be a Robo. There is a warp. There's another immortal coming up right now. Instead, it's gonna be Blink here for System Yao. But I really feel like just continuously producing immortals is one of the easiest ways of improving in PvP. If you have that upper hand, just go for that Death Bowl army, right? If you know you're ahead economically, and I don't know if System Yao really knows that there's no expansion at this point. There's a couple of observers. Maybe sending one across would be nice. Just simply warping in a lot of, you know, units is good, but oh man, I don't know if Stalkers are gonna be the name of the game right now. Alarak in a lot of trouble here, but he's slowly getting to a point where he's actually not in the worst position. Thing is, economy still doubled right now by System Yao, who decides to go for photon cannons in the main base. Now finally puts up a bunch of additional gateways. Just produce out of the freaking robotics facility. It's not that hard. The upgrades are nice. Yeah, get glaives. I don't know what glaives are gonna do in this game, but just no, we don't need this. Okay, the first Warp Prism died, I suppose, but we really just need more Immortals. Immortals are the best unit at this point in the game. At least in the mid-game of PvP, they are absolutely phenomenal. Double Stargate apparently is now gonna be the option right here for System Yao. Now, usually, right, in PvP, if Archons are at play, players will switch away from Phoenixes, because those are the units that can't be lifted up by Phoenixes. So usually, right, say you're playing Immortals and your opponent is going for Phoenixes, usually you see the player who's playing Immortal then switch to Archons, because they are the... This is basically System Yao now countering herself. Not entirely sure how that's gonna play out. We also see a Dark Shrine, so she's basically decided to just get every single tech path right now. In the meantime, though, a couple of Zealots did make their way across the map, and this is actually starting to hurt quite a bit. It's that Prism from earlier that's actually unloading a lot of Zealots, and all of a sudden, the mineral line right here of Alarak is gone. Luckily for him, he does still have a bit of a bank, but this does now force the issue over on the other side of the map as well. Alarak decides to engage into the natural expansion of Sister Meow, who is definitely going to end up losing the natural here, but maybe she's going to be able to hold the ramp. In the meantime, though, a lot of the structures here are being killed by the Protoss player in red. Sister Meow slicing and dicing away. There's one Zealot sleeping on the job. Well, at the very least, no, he's not sleeping on the job, actually. He's holding the front door, which was his original command, right? That's what he was really looking to do right here. These structures over here, though, will get sniped, so that means it's mostly just going to be Zealots right now for Alarak if he decides to continue warping in. Well, at this point in the game, he only has a couple of powered gateways, but I think they are soon going to be gone here as well. Natural should fall, but as long as Sister Meow just make immortals, make things, produce all the stuff. Just... Alright, Natural's gone. Alarak's army is way bigger, guys. Alarak's army is way bigger. There's another immortal right now joining the fray, and this is that mid-game army that I really like in PvP that I recommend everyone pretty much to play. Immortal Archon Zealot is phenomenal. And right now, Sister Meow's main base is in a lot of trouble. She's not really been warping in that much over here. Instead, some of that money has been spent on a hidden expansion that is actually rather far away from her main base. Alarak, though, target firing down as many of those pylons as possible. It looks like, oh my god! That one Archon, ooh, getting 12 probe kills in the blink of an eye, basically improving the job of that Zealot that was, well, tasked with holding the door. I guess it's been killed right now. This is gonna be a little bit awkward right now. We have a bit of a base trade. Both players are looking to lose their main base. No, kill the structures. System me out, no all army hotkeying, okay? I've shouted at you already for not producing out of your robotics facility. Please don't do the same thing right up. Okay, good. Like, no all army hotkeying. That's real good. Alright, so the main base of the player in blue is absolutely gone. The final structures over here are right over here. Now, obviously, the absolute win condition in StarCraft, and we don't see that very often at the highest level, but the absolute win condition of StarCraft is to eliminate all of your opponent's structures. If you manage to do that, you end up winning the game. So these are the last structures right now for Alarak. If these are gone, he's actually in a little bit of trouble. Now, at this point, obviously, you can't recall towards like a robotics facility. There's 2 war prisms. You know what? With good micro, even though it's just a bunch of Zealots, and even though the army supply is much, much smaller, since Alarak has absolutely no idea about this base that's been reacquired over here, he's not going to be revealed, right? He's not going to have that revelation message, so... you know, Alarak himself is revealed rather, but System Meow is not going to be revealed. He has no idea where that nexus is located. With good micro, I feel like these 2 war prisms could be of insane value. And here we go. The final pylons are actually being picked off right now. We see System Meow desperately trying to retarget as much as possible, going after these pylons. This is risky. No, target the pylon! Target the pylon! I think you can do it if you targeted the pylon! Oh no, the Zealots, they were just an attack move! They were just a little tech move. Now, one Zealot did just end up killing that final probe there of Alarak, who has 0 workers remaining. But the pylons do remain. 2 of the war prisms there were picked off as well, because for some reason, they were in phasing mode. And that now allows Alarak to clean up that final Zealot as well, who did not move after the engagement. And I guess at this point, all that Sister Meow has remaining is 1 observer. Now, keep in mind, there's a base. There's a gateway. There's 1 gateway and a dream, and one probe. So a lot of 1s. 1 nexus, 1 gateway, 1 probe, 1 observer, and 1 dream. Alarak knows that the opponent is not revealed. And this is a bit of a panic moment right here for the player in blue. Do you want to split up your army? Is there going to be another fully macroed up base somewhere for your opponent? I think in this situation, you do want to split up your army as much as possible. But of course, the F2 key does not work nearly as well. Alarak trying his very best to figure out the expansion here that is still running. If you know your opponent is not revealed, you know that there's a mining base somewhere, or at the very least a main structure somewhere. And right now he's eliminating pretty much all the options. Not going to check the gold just yet. There we go. We finally do see that split off of one of the Zealots, but here we go. The base will be found. Now, 1 Zealot has been produced here for Sister Meow. That 1 gateway warping in 1 Zealot. The Nexus, though, taking a lot of damage right now. We see all of these structures being picked off. The Zealot desperately trying to go to town right now on those leftover pylons. But Sister Meow recognizes the situation that she finds herself in. And Alarak is the one who obtains the victory. You know what? You know how in a lot of the viewer-submitted games of Terran players especially, I always shout at making use of your orbital commands, right? There's a lot of Terran players that just simply sit there with command centers, not upgrading them to orbital commands, or even worse, going for like a planetary fortress in the main, okay? You don't need to do that. Maybe I should start shouting at Protoss players as well to just continuously produce out of the robotics facility. I mean, have you ever met a Protoss player before, right, who said, oh man, if only I didn't produce those immortals? I mean, maybe there are some moments for it, and obviously in PvP, if your opponent is going heavy Phoenixes, maybe it's a little bit risky to do, but generally speaking, right, a mid-game composition based around Archon Immortal Zealot is absolutely phenomenal. It's one of the easiest unit compositions to micro, it's really, really strong. If you're playing against a Zerg, just simply add on some High Templar, and you've got yourself a grade A composition right there. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button down below. And if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. A special shout out to the Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the generosity. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile alright, and I will see you once more in the next one.